guys. There's been so many speculations and supposed leaks, and everyone's been, showing this and that and whatever. But finally, we have a confirmed release from Nintendo. This is the Nintendo Switch. In just a short 3.5 minute video, they've shown us a lot of cool stuff. And I'm really excited to go through some of these things with you, some things that you may have missed, and some stuff that I'm going to sort of predict for the future of Nintendo. It's been marketed as a portable home console, where I kind of actually see it more as a tablet, like a portable console if you plugged into the TV. I'll go through some concerns with that later, but that's sort of the way I kind of see it at the moment. And with that portability, there comes a bunch of different options you can use. So you can use it as a screen with the Joy-Con attached. Yeah, that's right, it's called the Joy Controller. Kind of a weird name, but what would you expect from Nintendo? You can use a screen with the joypad unattached, like a little kind of like hand Wiimote kind of things. You can flip the Joy-Con 90 degrees and use it as a second player. Definitely has some sort of wireless communication. Now, what's interesting is these guys here out in like the boomstick somewhere, you can kind of assume that there's no Wi-Fi there. So there's definitely gonna be some sort of way that they can communicate, whether it's NFC or if it's some Bluetooth or whatever. Like the 3DS, there's definitely some way they can communicate without a third-party router or wireless adapter or whatever. We can see that it can go straight from being a home console, picked up, taken away, with this stupid little barbecue section. Hey, come out to our barbecue, bring your Switch. The controller is the big part of this. So you got a controller that can be either used as with a screen or as a standalone or as a separate controller. Plus they've got the Pro Controller as well. There's a lot of different ways you can configure this. Now I'm worried that the standard looks a little cramped. Using like the old Game Boy Advance SP, this bad boy here, it's kind of like the main problem with it is that the back was too tight. Your hand sort of got in trouble with the road and the bumpers were really cramped and your hand sort of felt really I have tiny little girl hands, but the problem with this is that the screen thing was so cramped. I'm really hoping that it doesn't feel cramped, that there's enough of like a shape around the back of the control. And looking at it, it does kind of have a bit of a shape around the back of it. I'm hoping that the hands don't feel too close together. Now this also brings a concern to me for when it's attached to the tablet or like the screen, whatever you want to call it. So I actually love the PS Vita. I know I'm a huge Nintendo fan, but the Vita is an amazing little console. But the one thing I hate about this is how the flatness of the back, when you're holding it for long periods of times, your hands are sort of buckled a little bit and a little bit uncomfortable. I'm hoping that they've figured out a way to have some sort of grip to hold on to, because I'm guessing as well, the fact that there are fans on top of the Switch screen, it's gonna be pretty heavy. It's got fans cranking in it and a bit of hardware. So I'm really hoping that it doesn't wear out the hands. Weird thing to think, but I mean, if you're playing for long periods of time, it's gonna wear your hands down a little bit. Now the Pro Controller, this excites me, but I'm also kind of concerned. Also, they're going for a 360 Xbox One kind of layout, with the left hand thumbstick at the top and right hand thumbstick at the bottom. First time I've seen that from Nintendo, which I like because the Wii U Pro Controller feels kind of clunky when your fingers are a bit, one's up, one's down all the time and whatever. When you pause it and you look at the little sort of details in it, it looks incredibly tacky. The little patterns and designs on there, I'm really hoping that they aren't a permanent thing. I'm hoping that's like special edition, they have a clean look. I prefer a clean look anyway, and I don't know, I'm still going to buy it, but I don't like that sort of, those little details and stuff. Now the screen itself, obviously it'll be 1080p, maybe of a higher resolution if they want to start competing again with PS4 and Xbox. I would love an OLED screen. OLED looks amazing on the PS Vita. I'd love some sort of Retina combatant or something that's similar to what Mac does with the Retina display. Now, something really interesting with this advertisement that from memory I haven't seen Nintendo do ever, if not for a very long time. Not being racist, you see white people, you see dark people, you see Asian people, you see kind of like 20-year-olds and those sort of like mid-20s peoples and a guy with a dog and all sort of stuff, but you don't see any families or any kids. And if you look back at most advertisements Nintendo have done in the past, it's been like, yo, buy this console, it's for the family, old Nana can play, and bring the 6-year-old kid and woo. This is the first time Nintendo have done something for a long time that hasn't been directly marketed to children or families, and I for one am very excited for that. They're actually trying to reach the demographic that were children in the beginning, like myself. I was born in 91 and I grew up with Super Nintendo, and now I have a bit of money. I'm excited to play some of the old games I want on something new and exciting and portable. and that sort of stuff. So it's really cool to see Nintendo market it, you know, kind of selfish, but market it to me. The thing that excited me the most, and I shouldn't be starting on a high, but I'm really excited for this. This Super Mario, whatever it is, looks awesome. And it looks a lot like Super Mario 64. It has long jump, it has sort of the triple jump we haven't seen for a very long time. It's flat, so I don't think it's going to be another Super Mario Galaxy. Looks like something new with like a taste of old, and that's what I want. We saw Zelda Breath of the Wild. We knew that was coming anyway, so I wasn't really seeing that at the start wasn't very exciting. We saw Mario Kart. This isn't Mario Kart 8. If you didn't notice, there are 2 weapon slots similar to Mario Kart Double Dash on the GameCube, and there's King Boo. We haven't seen King Boo in Mario Kart 8. Yoshi's Circuit, yes, it's in Mario Kart 8 as a DLC, but this Mario Kart looks different. It looks new. Now, whether it's a Mario Kart 9 or it's just like a rehashed Mario Kart 8 they're releasing with the release, we don't know yet. We saw a basketball game. Don't really care about basketball. I'm hoping that games like FIFA will be released on this console. I would love to be able to play FIFA on my tablet portable thingy while I'm traveling, that sort of stuff. And of course we saw Skyrim. Now this is also very exciting because this opens up a whole new avenue of third-party support. This shows us all the different companies that are supporting Nintendo, confirmed to support Nintendo. So we've got 505 releasing things like Rocket League and Terraria, so we'll probably see those on the console. Bethesda, which obviously we saw in, you know, Skyrim, but maybe we'll get Fallout 4 or the next Fallout, whatever that will be. We got Indie Creates, which is, you know, Mega Man, so that could be amazing. Atlas releasing games like Persona, so that's also great. And Havoc, who obviously released things like LA Noire and Soul Calibur. Maybe we'll see, I mean, obviously you don't have Naughty Dog support, but maybe we'll see The Last of Us in some way on there. I don't know, I can only hope. And these will come on cartridges. Only the other day, a friend of mine and myself were talking about the fact that sort of Blu-rays are only 500 gig, and 500 gig seems like a huge amount of space. When you're talking games and how much they can fit on there, it's not a whole lot. And we're still talking about, you know, what might the future of gaming be. And we discussed the fact that it probably is going to be cartridges. A couple of days later, this came out. You know, people whinging about, you know, can a cartridge-based console still be the way of the future? Well, of course it can. Discs worked for a long time because cartridges couldn't catch up to where discs already were, but now cartridges are surpassing it. You can buy a 512 gig micro SD card, which is like that big. And these things we've seen a little bit bigger. We can see in the back here that, you know, it's somewhat bigger. So my way of thinking at the moment is cartridges, awesome, very exciting. We can fit huge amounts of data on them. They're going to read faster. They're going to be a little bit more reliable. You can't scratch a cartridge. I really don't want them to release PS Vita size cases. I love the full size cases. But the only issue I have with cartridges is the fact that they're going to cost a lot more. 500 gig SD card is going to cost a lot more than like a Blu-ray disc. We're already paying $100 for a game on a disc. I'm hoping that even though they're going to release on cartridges, they're going to cost more. I guess only time will tell. Now, a big concern of mine and a lot of other people's is the battery life. Will we have a console that can last a long time? I've heard 5 hours is where we're going at the moment. I haven't actually read anything official that says 5 hours, but people have been saying 5 hours online. I'm not sure where that started. But 5 hours isn't a huge amount of time. I personally will play a lot more than 5 hours a day while I'm out and about. I really hope that it can be charged outside the dock, like it has its own power. I'm guessing it will, otherwise it would be crazy portable if you've got to take the dock everywhere, if you want to charge it while you're out and about, or if you want to charge it while you're, you know, going on trips or whatever. I'm also really hoping that you can actually charge it via USB as well, which means I can charge it via my computer, or charge it via like a power pack like I do with my phone when I'm playing Pokemon Go or that sort of stuff. I'm hoping that's a possibility. The big concern to me is the capabilities of like the innards. What could it actually do? I've heard people have said that it's going to be as good as the Xbox One and the PS4. I don't personally see that. Being the size that it is, it can't fit as much gear as the PS4 and Xbox One can. But in saying that, Nvidia make really, really good compact stuff. Like the Nvidia Shield that they released was an amazing little piece of kit. Really, really small, really quite slender, really, really thin. It gives me hope for this console being managed by Nvidia. One thing about the power that does excite me though is the fact that there is a fan inside the actual screen. So having a fan on top of the screen, or the little vent up there, shows that there's a fair piece of kit running inside the actual screen machine. I'm speculating that the dock is more than just a charging dock with a fancy way of getting to the TV. If you look at the dock, it's got a thicker back to it. I'm thinking that the thicker back is actually going to provide, you know, it's got some more, Nvidia put more stuff into it. It's got its own CPU and GPU and power supply, obviously, inside this little back. Alienware once released a laptop where when you're out on the go and you're playing portable, it had, you know, its own CPU and GPU and sort of stuff built in, but then when you came home you could plug it into a little tower that you made, and that then boosted it, and that when you're playing on the screen, you know, you could run higher frame rates and you could run ultra graphics and that sort of stuff. I'm kind of speculating that the dock will do something similar to that. Maybe when you're out, you're running at 30 FPS, you know, 1080i, 1080p perhaps. You come home and you're running at 60 FPS or higher. Maybe the graphics lift up and the lines are crisper, or the shadows run nicer, or the water textures are better, or whatever. That's kind of where I'm thinking this is going to go. Another huge concern of mine is how fragile this thing's going to be. Being so thin, I'm so scared of it just breaking in my hands. I'm worried about dropping it. I'm worried about, people have said 100 times, losing the little Joy controllers. I'm worried about, you know, smashing the screen, or you know, something similar to that. Being such a big piece of kit, that's probably going to be heavy, like I've said. I can just see myself dropping it, you know, every now and then. I'd be really hesitant to let my niece or nephew play it, which is, you know, not fair, because you want the world to play video games. But that's it. Thank you so much for watching this. I'm over the moon, excited for this console. As always, like, subscribe, comment, all that sort of wicked fun stuff. I sound like a robot. Thanks so much for watching, and as always guys, have a lovely day.